Hello students, once again welcome back to Mizu STD video classes, and as this slide is showing you, in this particular video what we are going to discuss, that is CBSE pattern question exercise, and that too for this chapter magnetism and matter. In this chapter basically we emphasized a lot on various magnetic materials, Earth's magnetic aspects and cause and consequences. So, I hope this chapter you will find simple, interesting, obviously scoring fine, and these questions the same pattern. First I will tell you the question, then at the first aspect I will tell you how you should approach the answer as per the marks allocation of the question. So, let us start this discussion. So, here it is your question number 1, and if you just take a look, the same point, that is question number 1 and 2 both are for 1 mark. So, here this is the starting of the first question. Can we have a magnet with a single pole, or other way you can say this question is like, is it possible that magnetic monopoles exist? So, in this chapter we devoted good amount of time to explain why magnetic monopoles are non-existing. So, the answer for this question, because it is in 1 mark, so you just have to mention 2-3 words, that is magnet with single pole is not possible. Even if you want more elaborate explanation which is not required, but just for your reference I am telling you, you need not to mention it in your examination hall, that at subatomic level even south north both poles are coexisting. It is not like that at subatomic level north pole is separately existing and only north pole is existing, it is not like that. So, this is the case. Plus charge or individual minus charge can exist, but magnet with 2 poles only can exist, fine. So, now we would like to move on to question number 2, and this question is again for 1 mark. So, for 1 mark means you should be very careful, you just have to write sometimes even a single word, that will give you just 1 mark. Sometimes it may possible in 1 mark answer you have to write down 1 complete line, it may possible, fine. So, then this is question number 2. What is the significance of Gauss law in magnetism? Well, Gauss law in electricity we discussed, Gauss law in magnetism I elaborated in this particular chapter. Here in this question in 1 mark you have to mention the significance, importance of this Gauss law, and that too in terms of magnetic aspects, magnetism. So, I will write down one simple statement, that is magnetic, the answer of this particular question, that is you can say I will write down 1 complete line, and accordingly you can arrange your wordings. Magnetic, fine, magnetic poles exists, magnetic poles exists, and whatever I am writing it is like what exactly the significance of Gauss law. So, whatever I am explaining it is to underline the significant aspect of Gauss law for magnetism. So, magnetic pole exists in unlike, magnetic poles exist in unlike pairs of equal strength, equal strength. Okay. Question comes in mind, what is the meaning of this? Magnetic poles exists in unlike pairs of equal strength. Well, meaning is simple, try to analyze. Magnetic poles, in previous question I mentioned pole, not cannot exist, poles. So, poles exist in unlike pairs. Unlike pairs means what? North north, south south cannot exist, north south like that. So, unlike pairs of equal strength. Try to recall in this particular chapter, in my videos, initial videos, I created a diagram of bar magnet, and here let us say it is south pole, here it is north pole, then I explained you geographic length, geometric length, so on, but I contributed this south pole with magnetic you can say charge ms, magnetic charge, and this as mn. So you know now, unlike pairs, this is south pair, south, and this is north, so pair is, but unlike, it is not equal to this north pole, and equal strength. So strength of these two is similar. So this is the answer of this question number 2. It is anyway not long, even if you just draw this diagram and mention, that will give you complete 1 mark, fine, because CBSE teachers do not like to deduct unnecessary marks, fine. If a student will get more marks unless and until he or she not mention anything which is absurd, then the student will get complete marks. Now let us move on to question number 3 and 4, and both questions are for 2 marks. So be careful, okay. Draw magnetic field lines due to a U-shaped magnet. My idea of asking this question is simple. In the discussion of all these chapters and even in current electricity, we discussed properties of 2 very important friends. Friend number 1 is electric field, friend number 2 is magnetic field. So the simple characteristic of both these 2 friends is electric field lines never form closed loop, open loop, positive charge outward, negative charge inward, but this magnetic field lines, they forms closed loop, fine. So draw a magnetic field lines due to a U-shaped magnet. So we have to create the magnetic field lines with this reference that they are forming closed loop, okay. So I will draw a diagram, okay, and then I hope you will try to understand. I need 1 or 2 more color chalks. So this is horseshoe or U-shaped magnet. It is also sometimes called as horseshoe magnet, and then this way, fine. Now this is a magnet, let us say this is north pole, this is south pole, fine. So the field lines will be like this, outside, like this, like this, but inside field lines, because they form closed loop, so inside like this, same direction like this. Similarly, okay, use the same red chalk, no problem, fine. So this is the representation of magnetic field lines due to this U-shaped magnet, U-shaped or horseshoe shaped magnet, fine. Now over here you can justify this statement that magnetic field lines always form closed loop, fine. Now we have to move for the explanation of question number 4, that is again for 2 marks, and over here in 2 marks few of you may think only we have to create this much diagram and the teacher will give 2 marks. Yes, because it is asked. More if you want to mention, then 1 line you can write down magnetic field lines always form closed loop, sufficient. The teacher will, the person who is evaluating your answer sheet, he or she will get the clear idea that student has the clarity about this particular aspect. Basically the hidden agenda, fine, the you can say main theme of this question is just to check whether you are aware with this fact or not, that magnetic field lines form closed loop while electric field lines never form closed loop. Fine. Then comes question number 4. State two methods to destroy the magnetism of a magnet. Actually, these type of questions are asked just to check how seriously, how carefully you have gone through with the chapter. I mean, minute details while you are studying the chapter, while you are with this chapter. So, is it like that you just skipped, you just superficially completed the chapter, or at least you devoted some amount of time and then you completed your chapter. So, this question is purely a theoretical question, we just I mean want to check it your way of reading, your way of understanding. So, destroy the magnetism means demagnetize. Okay. So, I will write down 2 points over here, then I hope you will understand. I will explain you, do not worry. So, now in order to destroy the magnetism of a magnet, 2 methods, like first is heat the magnet. Fine. Number 2, there are many possibilities, but I think I should mention, place the magnet in presence of another very strong magnet. Actually, I am writing so much so that you can understand. Okay. Now, place the magnet. First aspect is heat the magnet. So, moment you will start providing the heat, what will happen? Domains, electrons will get energy and they will be shifted in random direction. Place the magnet in presence of another very strong magnet in opposite direction. In opposite direction. Fine. What does it means in opposite direction? Well, the meaning is simple. Let us say I have this magnet, okay, and students, I am sure this white wala chalk tip is visible to you and this blue wala handle handle is visible. Now, let us say this is south pole, this is north pole. It means all the domains are oriented accordingly. Now, if I place this small bar magnet north south in the presence of any other strong big magnet, so in opposite sense of this direction of this magnetic field, so what will happen? It will somehow demagnetized. The external magnet will first try to demagnetize it, then force the domains of this magnet to align themselves as per the direction of this magnetic field itself. So, these are 2 methods, there are so many other methods also. Fine. So, these questions are, you may say, whatever we have discussed in our slides, these questions are directly from there. Fine. And students, if you are regularly watching our videos, you will definitely find all these things are simple. Now, question number 5 to 7 each for 3 marks. Fine. And as such, there is no internal choice nowadays. State and explain Curie law in magnetism. Now, if you are regularly watching our videos, you will find this entire law is explained in one of my videos where the name of this video is hysteresis curve. There I mentioned this Curie law. So, now what exactly the Curie law is? Curie law is, it gives you a relation between I and B and I with temperature. So, magnetic intensity and magnetic field and magnetic intensity with temperature, fine. So, the statement, wordings all are there in this video. Here I will give you only a shortcut general idea, because all regular students who are regularly watching our videos, they will find it very simple, fine. So, how exactly you should proceed? You should write down Curie law in magnetism is associated with magnetic field intensity I, magnetization, and this magnetic field, that is from Biot-Savart law type of things, and then that is temperature. So, this relation shows you these type of sequences. So, what exactly the relation is, and even these points in this video I explained you twice, fine. So, the relation is I is directly proportional to B, I is directly proportional to B, fine. Now, combine both these. So, you will get sorry T, temperature T. So, you will get I is directly proportional to B upon T. You may introduce a this constant, no problem, but over here you can analyze so many things, right. You can say the dimensional formula of I from here you can calculate, and you can find the value like this way, fine. I think now I should remove this proportionality sign. So, this relation is something which is defined as Curie law, fine. So, it was your question number 5 and it was for 3 marks. So, obviously, you have to provide some answers, fine. Then comes students question number 6, and in this question define the term angle of dip and declination. There is one video in this particular chapter I prepared where I mentioned elements of Earth's magnetic field. So, there I explained with the help of diagram all these terms, angle of dip, angle of declination, horizontal component, and so on. So, define the term angle of dip and declination. Okay. I will not solve it completely step by step, because this is something which is present in your video, fine. So, fine, I think I should make it slightly bigger. Yes, fine. Now, try to recall this type of diagram. This is magnetic meridian, fine, and this is geographic meridian. Now, the angle between this magnetic meridian and geographic meridian is defined as theta, which is known as angle of declination, fine, that is defined as angle of declination. Then comes angle of dip. Angle of dip is something which is represented by this delta, and this delta is defined as angle which B earth, complete that B earth makes with horizontal component. So, this is something which is defined as angle of dip, fine. In those videos, I mean before this particular you can say PowerPoint presentation, the regular videos of this chapter are really very important, fine. Then comes question number 7. Now, why I place this question? Actually, there is a logic behind that. After getting so many one-liners, 2, 3 marks, 2, 3 marks, again you will find this very long question. So, what will be your response? Oh, very difficult question, please do not attempt, run away. Now, this mentality is not anyway good. Let us try to read the question. A circular coil of 300 turns, 300 ton means capital N is equal to 300, and a dia 40 centimeter. So, if dia is given, even you can find the radius, surface area, volume, anything, carries a current of 15 ampere. What is the magnitude of magnetic moment associated with it? I mean with the coil. Fine. So, how exactly you can visualize this question? So, magnetic moment M is equal to NIA, where A is cross sectional area, fine, I is this magnetic intensity, and N is number of turns. So, if we put the values, I will get the direct value of this magnetic dipole moment, fine. So, over here what I will write down? I will write down Ni, and what exactly that will come within bracket? Pi d square upon 4, these type of results, dia, fine. So, put the values over there, and finally you will get the answer, fine, 69.3, sorry, Joule Tesla, Joule upon Tesla. So, see the beauty, just one or two simple formulae and you can get the solution. So, my request or my suggestion is, do not run away, read the question at least twice or thrice, because that is at most important, fine. Then comes question number 8, 8 to 10 basically 5 marks. So, long answer type questions, you have to write down so many things, but it is not like that you can write down any story, so many things about a specific device or topic in physics, fine. What are the magnetic elements of earth? Explain them briefly. If you try to recall, just some time back in 2 marks I was discussing like this. So, magnetic elements of earth's magnetic field, and explain them properly. So, you have to first mention the name of that particular element, and then you have to elaborate it. Say for example, these magnetic elements if you have, then you have this theta, that is magnetic declination, theta is magnetic declination. Let us magnetic declination, fine, magnetic declination. Then comes your next term, that is defined as this magnetic delta, fine, it is magnetic inclination. And another is H, that is horizontal component. Horizontal component. Okay, and then elaborate them. I devoted very good amount of time. It was one complete lecture for these type of questions. Fine. So, now you can say after watching Mizo studies videos, you will find things are not so difficult in any subject. Fine. It is question number 9. A ship is sailing due west according to mariner's compass. If the declination of the place is 15 degree east, what is the true direction of the ship? Fine. Ship is sailing through the west. Now, this question I not picked for explanation of any mechanics. No, I picked this question just to give you the idea of importance of Earth's magnetic field. Fine. So, simply I would like to mention over here that just try to draw a diagram, and in the diagram itself everything will be clear. I have one color chalk, then two colors chalks, and I need one more color just to show you beautiful representation. So, this is your NG, geographical north. This is your SG, that is geographical south. This is your WG, that is western side with respect to this ground. Fine, north, south, west, and this one is east. Fine, that to G. Now, I will use a different color chalk to show you one line. This angle is 15 degree, 1 5. Fine, and this is north of magnetic pole and this is south of magnetic pole. Fine, and then I need another color chalk to show you the angle. Fine, this angle is 75. Okay, this angle is 75. So, now what you can say, this is the direction of the ship as per the question. I hope this red color is visible to all of you. Now, magnetic north and south is east of geographic north and south. This is geographic north and south, this is magnetic. So, it is east of this. Fine, that is the way of representation, and ship is sailing due west according to mariner's compass. It is mentioned ship is sailing due west according to mariner's this compass. So, what you can say, it is going 90 minus 15, it is going 90 minus 15, this angle I showed 90 minus 15, that is 75 degrees, and in which direction? Geographic this north. Fine. So, accordingly it is moving. So, west, yes, sorry, west of this geographic west. So, this is the explanation of this particular question. Here you need not to calculate. Here if you have the understanding, you can use one or two colors, pencils or pens, and you can create this diagram. So, it was question number 9. Then comes question number 10. What are di, para and ferromagnetic materials? Discuss their important properties. Now, for this, because I provided 2 complete videos on the explanation of di, para, ferromagnetic materials, so I will simply suggest go take a revision at any point of time. You can answer this pure theoretical question. Fine. Here as such nothing is required from my side, because I classified all these things in such a nice fashion. If you really and regularly watch these videos, you will find till class 12th board exams your syllabus is very simple. You will feel like that. Fine. So, students, I think we should now stop over here. We should definitely, I will come back at some later stage with some more videos, but till then my suggestion is please take care of yourself, that is utmost important. Of course, revision is very important. There is no shortcut for success. And once again, a very warm welcome for the coming videos, and thanks a lot for watching this video. Thanks a lot.